Hey, sports fans, coming to you today on YouTube. Going to talk about college football, one of my favorite topics to talk about. This is the second video I made today, but I'm releasing this the day after the other one just because I know that Thursday is going to be a little hectic with being my first day back in class. I'm a fifth grade teacher, so we're going to take some shortcuts tomorrow. I know how the first day goes. Nothing's going to go right, and I'm going to be exhausted. So I'm making a video now, so maybe I don't have to. I don't get behind because I want to make sure I get a video a day out. Today we're talking about the Sun Belt Conference. Sun Belt Conference is it's a tough conference to predict. There's 5 teams in the East and 5 in the West, and it's just it's a tough conference. We're going to start out in the East. Georgia State, fairly new school to Division I. They're a team that's building up. I have them predicted 5th in the East, and I just don't see them being a very good football team. And maybe things come together and it'll surprise me, but I wouldn't bet on it. Coastal Carolina is just, in my opinion, a little bit better than Georgia State, but not by much. I don't think Coastal Carolina is going to be a factor in the Sun Belt. But time will tell. I may be wrong about every one of these. We'll see. At the end of the season, I plan on doing a video that kind of talks about all the conferences and how my predictions were right and how bad they were. Try to make predictions. It's fun because after week 1, you're thinking, did I really predict them to be winning the conference? I don't see it. And sometimes they come back and do it. Sometimes they don't. Anyway, 3rd in the East, I got Georgia Southern. I think they're going to come together and be a contender for a while and then kind of fade off at the end. But they're going to be a bowl-eligible team, I think, or at least fighting for it. A couple of the better teams in the East, I've got Troy finishing 2nd. Troy used to be a powerhouse in this conference, and they knock off some good teams every now and then. I know LSU fans don't care for them because they made LSU fans not so happy a few years ago. But you can't overlook them because if you do, they'll hit you right in the mouth and be done with you. So I got Troy finishing 2nd. I got Appalachian State finishing number 1. Appalachian State is the team that's most famous for beating Michigan when they were a Division II school, and was a huge upset. And I still remember that. I'm showing my age. It wasn't that long ago, but it was a huge upset at the time. And Michigan came in ranked up high, and they dropped all the way out of the top 25 when Appalachian State went and just beat them. So that's who I think is going to win the division. Let's take a look at the West. South Alabama I got picked 5th. I just don't think that they're going to be real good this year. We'll see how that goes, but I just don't see them being a contender for the league. Got Texas State number 4. I think in a lot of ways they're headed in the right direction. It just may take them a couple more years before they're really there. 3rd, I got Louisiana Monroe, and I think they're a pretty good team. They should be close to bowl eligible. If they have a good year, they'll be bowl eligible. But I see them in the 4 to 5 win area, and with a chance for 6 or 7. But I think 5 is a good bet. All right, Louisiana is my pick for number 2, and I just think that they're one of those teams. They're good enough to contend, but in the end, they're just not going to be as good as Arkansas State, and that's why I got picked to finish 1st. And at this time, I think Arkansas State's going to beat Appalachian State for the championship, but it's one of those It's going to be tough. Um, I think it's pretty even teams, and it's going to be a tough one to go. I could see reversing some of these, and it could be there. Um, it's a fun conference to look at, and they're very evenly matched. And really, when you're talking about football, I'd rather see an evenly matched team with two teams that are than to see one team that's way up here and one team down here and see them win by 50. That's just not a fun game to watch to me. But if it's competitive, and I think a lot of these games will be, it'll come down to a touchdown or less in most of the games in this conference. It's going to make it fun to watch. So you get a chance to watch a little bit of Sunbelt football. In fact, all the non-Power 5 conferences, I would recommend, if you're a football fan, watch some of it. It's an interesting brand of football to watch, and it's very competitive. And I love watching competitive games. All right. Tomorrow we're going to start with Power 5 teams. We're going to start out west with the Pac-12, and we're going to start talking about some of the big conferences, and some of the big conferences you're going to agree with me, some of them you're not. But hey, time will tell. One thing about sports, you don't know what's going to happen. Even the people that think they know what's going to happen don't know what's going to happen. And you make enough predictions, you're going to be right sometimes, but you're going to be wrong more often, because it's one of those things that you can't look on paper, it's going to be this way, and then you get to the season and it's not any way like you see that, like you thought it would be. Things don't work out. Things worked out better for another team. I can't. Let's play football. Let's just start tomorrow. Let's be good with it. All right. You guys have a good day in sports, and countdown to the season is on. Have a good one.